Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep repeating in your life, no matter how hard you try to change them? What if I told you that the greatest psychologist of the 20th century discovered a hidden vibrational code within your unconscious mind that, once accessed, could completely transform your reality? Carl Jung's revolutionary work went far beyond conventional psychology, venturing into realms of knowledge so powerful that mainstream institutions have deliberately kept them from public awareness. The secret science of vibrational consciousness that Jung uncovered explains why most people remain trapped in cycles of limitation despite their best efforts. While modern society dismisses ancient wisdom as primitive superstition, Jung's decades of research revealed something astonishing. These ancestral traditions understood profound truths about consciousness that quantum physics is only now beginning to confirm. The mystery schools of Egypt, Tibet, and pre-Christian Europe all utilized precise vibrational technologies to reprogram the unconscious mind and access extraordinary states of awareness. These powerful techniques weren't taught openly because they literally rewire the energetic architecture of reality itself, breaking through the programmed limitations that keep humanity in unconscious servitude to outdated patterns. What makes this knowledge so transformative is that it operates beyond the realm of positive thinking or behavioral modification, targeting the actual vibrational frequency of your unconscious mind, where reality is generated before it manifests in physical form. Jung discovered that dreams, synchronicities, and spontaneous visions aren't random phenomena, but precise communications from a vast intelligent field attempting to guide your consciousness toward higher frequencies of integration. Most spiritual teachings miss this crucial understanding, that transformation occurs not through adding new information, but through alchemical transmutation of the energetic patterns already within you. The integration of shadow elements represents the most powerful vibrational shift possible in human consciousness, releasing enormous energy previously trapped in suppression and denial. Jung found that psychological complexes aren't merely emotional issues, but actual energetic entities operating at specific frequencies within the psyche, draining life force until consciously transformed. In this video, we'll explore the exact methods Jung developed to identify and transmute these dense energetic patterns into allies for spiritual evolution. You'll discover why certain challenges keep appearing in your life and the precise vibrational shifts needed to transcend them permanently, accessing levels of awareness and manifestation power that few ever realize exist within them. In the depths of human consciousness lies a hidden realm that vibrates with unseen energies, shaping our reality in ways most never realize. The unconscious mind, as I discovered through decades of analytical research, operates on specific frequencies that can be accessed and reprogrammed once understood. This vibrational nature of our psyche explains why certain archetypes resonate universally across cultures and throughout time, transcending the boundaries of conscious thought and rational understanding. When we begin to recognize these energy patterns within ourselves, the first step toward profound transformation becomes possible. The ancient wisdom traditions understood this secret science of the soul long before modern psychology attempted to quantify it. Through my studies of alchemical texts, Eastern philosophies, and indigenous spiritual practices, I discovered that they all pointed to the same fundamental truth. Consciousness itself is vibrational in nature. The Egyptians, the Tibetans, the Native Americans all developed methods to alter their vibrational states and thus access deeper layers of the unconscious realm where true power resides. Their methods, once dismissed as primitive superstition, now reveal themselves as sophisticated technologies of consciousness that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. Most people remain trapped in dense vibrational patterns that keep them locked in repetitive cycles of suffering and limitation. These low-frequency energy states manifest as psychological complexes, autonomous patterns that hijack consciousness and drain vital energy from the individuating self. The shadow, in particular, operates as a heavy, energetic burden when not properly integrated, pulling one's vibrational signature downward into states of fear, anger, and separation. Yet within this very challenge lies the opportunity for the most powerful transformation, as integrating these shadow elements releases tremendous energy back into the psyche. The collective unconscious itself can be understood as a vast vibrational field connecting all human experience across time and space. This quantum field of archetypal energies contains patterns that have shaped human experience from our earliest beginnings, resonating at frequencies that call to us through dreams, synchronicities, and creative inspiration. By learning to attune ourselves to these higher vibrational currents flowing through the collective unconscious, we gain access to wisdom beyond our personal experience and begin the true journey of spiritual transformation that leads to wholeness. The question then becomes, how does one consciously shift these deeply ingrained vibrational patterns that have shaped our reality since birth? Dreams serve as the most direct portal into the vibrational realm of the unconscious, revealing in symbolic language the energetic patterns that govern our waking life. When properly decoded, these nightly journeys offer not merely insights, but actual opportunities to reprogram the vibrational signature of our psyche at its deepest levels. The symbols that appear in dreams are not random mental debris, but precise energetic imprints, seeking conscious integration. They express themselves through a universal symbolic language that transcends cultural programming, speaking directly from the soul in frequencies that the rational mind often cannot initially comprehend. The practice of active imagination that I developed allows one to consciously enter this vibrational state while awake, creating a bridge between different levels of consciousness. By engaging with dream imagery in a waking state, we can directly communicate with these energetic patterns, allowing for conscious reprogramming of unconscious material. This ancient technique, practiced by mystics and shamans throughout history, under different names, creates a sacred portal between dimensions where transformation becomes possible. The key lies in suspending the analytical mind and allowing the symbolic content to reveal its vibrational essence without intellectual interference. What modern neuroscience now confirms through brainwave studies, the ancient mystery schools taught millennia ago, that specific states of consciousness create distinct vibrational frequencies in the brain and nervous system. Delta and theta brainwave states, predominant during deep dream sleep, allow direct access to the programming level of consciousness. By learning to maintain conscious awareness while accessing these deeper brainwave states, one can literally rewrite the energetic patterns that manifest as personality, behavior, and ultimately, one's experience of reality. This practice represents the true meaning of spiritual alchemy, the transmutation of consciousness through vibrational shift. The synchronicities that appear in waking life often mirror dream content precisely because both emerge from the same vibrational field of the collective unconscious. When strange coincidences begin appearing in your daily experience, pay careful attention. These are not random events, but feedback from the field, confirming that your vibrational reprogramming is taking effect. Dreams and synchronicities together form a powerful system of communication between the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche, creating a feedback loop that accelerates spiritual evolution. As we become more attuned to these subtle energies, we notice how dream symbols begin manifesting in physical reality, revealing the hidden connection between inner and outer dimensions. The shadow represents the densest vibrational frequency within the human psyche, storing repressed energies that actively block our spiritual evolution and conscious expansion. This psychological complex forms in early childhood as we learn to suppress aspects of ourselves deemed unacceptable by family and society, creating energetic compartments within the unconscious that vibrate at frequencies of shame, fear, and denial. The shadow's heavy energetic signature pulls us downward, anchoring our consciousness to lower vibrational states that manifest as self-sabotage, projection, and unconscious destructive patterns. Until this dense energy is transmuted, all attempts at spiritual growth will be undermined by these powerful unconscious forces. What makes shadow work so challenging yet essential is that these repressed energetic patterns operate autonomously, beyond conscious awareness, yet consume tremendous psychic energy to maintain. The energy required to keep these shadow elements suppressed drains the system of vital force that could otherwise fuel transformation and spiritual awakening. This explains why many spiritual seekers reach plateaus in their development. They've raised certain aspects of their vibration, while dense shadow material remains unprocessed, creating energetic dissonance within the system. The universal law of resonance ensures that external reality will continuously reflect these unresolved shadow frequencies until they are consciously integrated. Ancient initiation rites across cultures understood the necessity of shadow integration for spiritual advancement, creating ceremonial spaces where initiates could safely encounter and transmute these dense energetic patterns. The descent into the underworld, symbolic death and rebirth, vision quests in darkness, these are all archetypal journeys designed to bring shadow material into conscious awareness for transmutation. Without this crucial alchemical process, spiritual bypassing occurs, attempting to access higher vibrational states while unconsciously suppressing lower frequencies, creating internal energetic conflict and psychological splitting. True vibrational elevation requires complete integration of all aspects of the psyche. The most powerful method for shadow integration involves tracking emotional triggers in daily life, as these reveal precisely where unconscious material resides. When someone or something in the external world evokes a disproportionate emotional reaction, this indicates a shadow element has been activated, providing a direct portal to the unconscious material needing integration. By consciously breathing into these triggered states while maintaining awareness, the dense energy begins to transmute, releasing its grip on the psyche. This process isn't merely psychological. It's an actual energetic transmutation that can be felt as heat, tingling, spontaneous movement, or emotional release as the frequency shifts from density to flow. Archetypes exist as pure vibrational templates in the collective unconscious, energetic patterns that have shaped human experience since the dawn of consciousness. These primordial energies function as cosmic blueprints that influence personal psychology, cultural expressions, and even historical movements through their resonant frequencies. The hero, mother, wise elder, trickster. These are not merely psychological concepts, but actual energetic signatures that can be accessed, embodied, and integrated into consciousness. When we recognize archetypal patterns operating in our lives, we're actually perceiving these fundamental energy frequencies, expressing themselves through our individual experience. Each archetype vibrates at a specific frequency range that resonates with certain aspects of human experience, creating a natural attraction between the individual psyche and these universal patterns. This explains why certain archetypal energies feel more accessible or challenging to different individuals. Our personal vibrational makeup naturally resonates with specific archetypal frequencies while creating resistance to others. The integration of an archetypal energy requires aligning our personal vibration with the pure template frequency of that archetype, allowing its wisdom and power to flow through our individuated consciousness without distortion or identification. True psychological maturity involves developing the capacity to consciously access multiple archetypal frequencies as needed. The most transformative spiritual practices throughout history have involved rituals, ceremonies, and initiations designed to attune the individual to specific archetypal frequencies. Sacred sounds, movements, visualizations, and plant medicines were employed to temporarily shift consciousness into resonance with these archetypal energies, allowing direct experience of their vibrational essence. This experiential knowing goes far beyond intellectual understanding, creating lasting neural pathways that allow the individual to access these frequencies at will. Modern approaches like breathwork, sound healing, and certain meditation practices can create similar shifts when approached with proper understanding of the vibrational nature of consciousness. What separates the individuated self from the undifferentiated? Mass consciousness is precisely this conscious relationship with archetypal energies. Rather than being unconsciously possessed by these powerful frequencies, as we see in individuals who become inflated with archetypal identification, the individuated person learns to dance with these energies, allowing them to flow through consciousness without becoming identified with them. This subtle yet profound distinction represents the difference between unconscious spiritual inflation and genuine psychological maturity. The self-archetype, representing wholeness and integration, vibrates at a frequency that harmonizes all other archetypal energies into a coherent symphony rather than a chaotic cacophony of competing voices. Synchronicity reveals the hidden vibrational connection between inner consciousness and external reality, demonstrating that both operate within a unified field of intelligent energy. These meaningful coincidences occur when our internal psychic state resonates at frequencies that attract corresponding external experiences, creating a bridge between psychological and physical dimensions. Unlike causal connections that operate through linear time and physical mechanisms, synchronistic events connect through resonance across the non-local field of consciousness. This phenomenon becomes increasingly common during periods of psychological transformation, serving as confirmation that one's vibrational shift is creating ripple effects across the fabric of reality itself. The Chinese concept of Tao and the ancient principle of as above, so below point to this same fundamental truth that I observed repeatedly in my patients. The outer world mirrors the inner vibrational state with astonishing precision. When we begin conscious shadow work or activate powerful archetypal energies through dream work, external reality responds with confirming patterns that cannot be dismissed as mere chance. Numbers, animals, unusual encounters, and recurring symbols appear with meaningful timing, demonstrating the responsive intelligence of the universe to shifts in personal consciousness. These synchronistic events often cluster around major life transitions, spiritual awakenings, or when unconscious material is moving toward conscious integration. What most fail to recognize about synchronicity is that it operates as a feedback mechanism for conscious evolution, showing us precisely where our vibrational focus is directed. By paying attention to the quality and nature of synchronistic events in our lives, we gain clear insight into our unconscious patterns and the archetypal energies currently activated in our psyche. This feedback system operates regardless of whether we consciously recognize it, but becomes an invaluable tool for accelerated growth when we learn to read its symbolic language. The universe continuously speaks to us through this vibrational mechanism, confirming or redirecting our path according to our soul's highest evolutionary trajectory. The practice of active attention to synchronistic events creates an amplifying effect, increasing their frequency and significance through conscious engagement with this vibrational language. By acknowledging these meaningful coincidences, rather than dismissing them as random, we strengthen the connection between conscious awareness and the intelligent field that generates these resonant patterns. This practice eventually develops into a continuous dialogue between individual consciousness and universal intelligence, guiding decisions and actions through intuitive resonance rather than merely rational analysis. This represents an advanced stage of individuation where the personal ego recognizes its embedded nature within the larger vibrational field of consciousness and learns to navigate by its subtle currents. The mandala represents the vibrational architecture of integrated consciousness, a sacred geometric pattern that naturally emerges during psychological healing and spiritual transformation. These circular designs, with their precise mathematical proportions, are not merely artistic expressions, but actual energetic blueprints that appear spontaneously in dreams and active imagination when the psyche is reorganizing itself at higher frequencies. The appearance of mandala imagery signals that fragmented aspects of consciousness are being drawn into new coherent patterns aligned with the self-archetype. This geometric restructuring reflects a fundamental vibrational shift occurring at the deepest levels of the unconscious mind. Ancient wisdom traditions across cultures recognize the healing power of these sacred geometric patterns, incorporating them into meditation practices, healing ceremonies, and sacred architecture. Tibetan sand mandalas, Gothic cathedral rose windows, Native American medicine wheels, and Hindu yantras all utilize identical geometric principles to induce vibrational coherence in consciousness. When one gazes upon or creates these patterns, with focused attention, the scattered energies of the psyche naturally reorganize according to these harmonic templates. The underlying mathematics of these designs, proportion, symmetry, sacred ratios, creates resonant frequencies that automatically bring disordered energies into balanced relationship. Modern quantum physics and cymatics now confirm what mystics have taught for millennia, that geometric patterns emerge from vibrational frequencies. When sand particles on a plate are exposed to specific sound frequencies, they automatically arrange themselves into precise geometric forms. Similarly, when consciousness is exposed to higher vibrational frequencies through meditation, breathwork, or sacred sound, it naturally reorganizes into more coherent patterns. The mandala represents the visual manifestation of this energetic coherence, revealing the intimate connection between mathematics, vibration, and consciousness. This explains why meditating on or creating mandalas produces measurable shifts in brainwave patterns and nervous system coherence. The process of individuation naturally culminates in what I term mandala consciousness, a state where previously fragmented aspects of the psyche arrange themselves in balanced relationship around the central self archetype. This state of consciousness vibrates at frequencies of wholeness, integration, and harmony, radiating a coherent energy field that affects not only the individual, but their entire environment. People who have achieved this level of integration often report synchronistic events occurring around them with increased frequency, as their coherent vibrational field interacts with collective consciousness in powerful ways. The journey toward mandala consciousness represents the highest expression of human potential, not as an escape from earthly existence, but as its most complete embodiment. Alchemy represents the most sophisticated ancient science of vibrational transformation, encoding profound psychological and spiritual processes in symbolic language to preserve these teachings for those ready to receive them. Far from the popular misconception of turning lead into gold, true alchemy concerns the transmutation of consciousness from dense, ego-bound frequencies to the refined vibration of the illuminated self. The alchemical stages, nigredo, blackening, albedo, whitening, rubedo, reddening, describe precise vibrational shifts that occur as consciousness undergoes systematic purification and elevation. These processes involve actual energetic phenomena that can be felt in the body as consciousness reorganizes at progressively higher frequencies. The alchemical principle of solve et coagula, dissolve and recombine, describes the fundamental mechanism by which vibrational reprogramming occurs in the unconscious mind. First, rigid psychological structures and conditioned patterns must be dissolved through various practices that loosen their energetic grip: dream work, active imagination, meditation, or plant medicine journeys. Then, these freed energies recombine according to higher organizational templates aligned with the self-archetype. This dissolution and recombination can be experienced as a death and rebirth process, often accompanied by intense emotional release, spontaneous physical movements, or profound visionary states as the energy system recalibrates to higher frequencies. Ancient alchemical texts describe the philosopher's stone as the miraculous agent of transformation. But this mysterious substance is actually a metaphor for resonant consciousness itself. When awareness reaches a specific threshold of coherence and vibration, it begins catalyzing transformation in everything it contacts, much like enzyme activity in biological systems. This elevated state of consciousness literally changes the vibrational frequency of thoughts, emotions, and eventually physical matter itself through resonant entrainment. The legendary transmutation of lead into gold symbolizes this process. The heavy, dense energy of unconscious patterns, lead, transforms into the radiant, coherent energy of integrated consciousness, gold, through the catalyst of sustained awareness. What distinguished the true alchemical adepts from mere laboratory experimenters was their understanding that the external processes mirrored internal transformations of consciousness. The heating, purification, and transformation of substances in the alchemical vessel symbolized identical processes occurring within the psyche of the practitioner. External materials were used as resonant tools to facilitate internal vibrational shifts through the principle of sympathetic magic. Modern consciousness technologies like brainwave entrainment, sound healing, and light therapy operate on the same principle, using external resonant frequencies to induce corresponding shifts in brain states and nervous system functioning. This explains why alchemical practices often combined laboratory work with meditation, prayer, and precise timing according to celestial movements. Individuation represents the pinnacle of vibrational evolution in human consciousness, a state where all aspects of the psyche, conscious and unconscious, achieve harmonious integration and coherent expression. This process involves far more than psychological development. It represents an actual energetic transformation where fragmented frequencies within the person come into resonant alignment with the higher organizing intelligence of the self-archetype. The individuated person vibrates as a coherent whole, rather than a collection of competing subpersonalities and complexes, emanating a unified field that naturally attracts synchronistic experiences and creative inspiration from the collective, unconscious. This achievement is not merely personal, but serves the evolution of collective human consciousness. The journey of individuation follows a spiral path through increasingly refined vibrational states, each turn of the spiral revisiting similar themes at progressively higher frequencies. This explains why individuals on this path often encounter recurring challenges that appear in different forms. These represent vibrational patterns requiring integration at multiple levels of consciousness. Unlike linear development models that suggest a clear progression from beginning to end, individuation involves circular returns to core themes with expanded awareness each time. These recurring patterns continue until the psyche achieves complete resonance with that particular aspect of consciousness, at which point the energy transforms and a new level of integration becomes possible. What makes individuation such a rare achievement in modern times is that it runs counter to the dominant cultural frequencies, promoting fragmentation, specialization, and identification with persona at the expense of wholeness. Mass consciousness operates at vibrational frequencies of separation, fear, and external validation, patterns that must be consciously transcended through dedicated inner work. The individuated person vibrates at frequencies that often place them at odds with collective norms, requiring tremendous psychological strength to maintain their coherence against the entraining pull of mass consciousness. Yet this inner alignment ultimately serves the collective by introducing new vibrational possibilities into the human energy field. The ultimate paradox of individuation is that as one becomes more fully themselves in their unique expression, they simultaneously experience deeper connection with all of humanity and indeed all of life. This apparent contradiction resolves when understood vibrationally. The more coherent and integrated one's personal frequency becomes, the more it resonates with the fundamental unity underlying all existence. True individuation does not separate, but rather connects one more deeply to the collective, yet from a position of centered wholeness rather than unconscious merging. From this vibrational state, one serves as a tuning fork for others, silently transmitting the possibility of integration through their very presence without needing to proselytize or convince others of their truth. As we've explored throughout this journey into Jung's vibrational understanding of the unconscious mind, the power to completely transform your reality has always resided within you, waiting to be activated through conscious awareness. The ancient alchemists weren't deluded gold seekers, but sophisticated consciousness scientists who understood that true transformation happens through vibrational shift, not intellectual knowledge alone. Jung's greatest gift was rediscovering this forgotten wisdom and translating it into a framework that bridges ancient spiritual technology with modern psychological understanding. By working with dreams, archetypes, and shadow integration as vibrational practices rather than mere concepts, you unlock doorways to dimensions of consciousness that transcend the limitations of conditioned reality. Remember that this journey of vibrational transformation isn't about escaping your humanity, but fully embodying it at frequencies of greater coherence and integration. The synchronicities appearing in your life aren't random coincidences, but feedback from the intelligent field responding to your vibrational signature. As you begin applying these Jungian practices of conscious reprogramming, pay close attention to these meaningful patterns appearing in your external world, They confirm that your internal shifts are creating ripples across the unified field. The ultimate goal isn't spiritual bypassing to some transcendent realm, but the full expression of your unique essence in harmonious relationship with all of life, vibrating at frequencies of creativity, purpose, and connection. This vibrational understanding of consciousness revolutionizes not just personal psychology, but our entire approach to spiritual development. Rather than adding more techniques or information to an already cluttered mind, true transformation comes through the alchemical process of dissolving rigid patterns and allowing your natural coherence to emerge. The mandala consciousness that Jung described represents your birthright, a state of integrated wholeness where all aspects of your being arrange themselves in balanced relationship around the central self archetype. From this vibrational state of coherence, you naturally attract experiences aligned with your highest evolution while transmitting frequencies that contribute to collective healing. If this exploration of Jung's vibrational teachings has resonated with you, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos that delve deeper into these ancient yet cutting-edge understandings of consciousness. The next video in this series, appearing on your screen now, explores specific dream work practices for accessing and reprogramming the deepest layers of the unconscious mind. Leave a comment below, sharing which part of today's video surprised you the most or triggered an important realization. Your insights not only help us create content aligned with your journey, but contribute to the collective field of awakening consciousness that Jung worked so tirelessly to nurture during his remarkable lifetime.